Hello shrimp people, today's video is all about the top 3 mistakes that I think people make when they're in the shrimp hobby. So these are all 3 mistakes that I've made myself and that I know a lot of people out there are making right now. So if I can help anybody avoid any of these things, that's what this video is all about. So first thing is jumping in too quickly and not doing your research. Shrimp tanks in general require preparation, require forethought, require planning, and in order for you to create the ideal environment for your shrimp to thrive in, you need to plan and you need to research. So I would highly recommend getting out a notepad, writing down all the things that you need based on the shrimp that you're going to keep. So choose the type of shrimp that you want to keep, whether it's Neocaridina or Caridina shrimp, and then start researching around that. And when I say research, find reliable places to do research, because there is quite a lot of bad information out there, believe it or not, when it comes to shrimp keeping. You're going to want to research all sorts of things, from water parameters to tank size to accessories, filtration, all of that. So make sure you do your due diligence and research. Number 2, wrong water parameters. Now this ties in very closely with number 1, with research. Depending on the type of shrimp that you're keeping, they require different parameters. So Neocaridina, for example, are a hard water species and require certain parameters, while Caridina are a soft water species. They have totally different setups, water parameters. So again, tying to number 1 about the research, make sure your water parameters are correct. Make sure they're water parameters that are very specific to what your shrimp will actually thrive in, because although shrimp are hardy, the Neocaridina shrimp, and can survive in certain parameters, they just won't thrive until you really hit a certain target of select parameters. And with Caridina shrimp, they are a lot more fussy than Neocaridina, so they will definitely need a specific setup and specific parameters. Now, a way to make sure that you have the right parameters, aside from the research and the planning, is to have test kits on hand. So the test kits that you will need for shrimp keeping and your shrimp keeping journey are ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. Those 3 are for making sure that your tank is cycled, and once it's cycled, doing tests on nitrate to make sure that the water quality is good. The other tests that you need are pH, GH, KH, and a TDS meter. Those are the parameters that are really specific to each type of shrimp that we're going to be really working on to achieve a tank and an environment where the shrimp will absolutely thrive. So that's the whole thing, right? You want your shrimp to thrive. You don't want them just surviving. You want them thriving. And that is the way to do that. Now, number 3, source. So this is a problem that is not often discussed, and it happens a lot. So there are basically 2 places you can get shrimp: homebred shrimp from a hobby breeder or a hobbyist, and import shrimp, which are pet stores, shrimp stores, shrimp that were bred overseas. So the homebred shrimp are bred locally or in your country by somebody who has tanks in their home and they're breeding shrimp. The other shrimp from the pet store don't come from those places. They come from farms overseas, and the shrimp travel several times before getting to you in your tank. So the problems with each, there are problems with each, but it tends to be a way better choice to get homebred shrimp when and if you can. I'm not going to go into all the pros and cons, but basically import shrimp tend to have a couple problems, which include die-off. Now the die-off occurs because they are stressed from all the travel that they do, and they are full-size shrimp. They're not little. Little shrimp tend to travel and acclimate better. The other problem is they are prone to disease because they are raised in an environment where these diseases are prevalent. So Elobopsidae, Scutterella japonica, Vorticella, these diseases are common on import shrimp. Now that's not to say that homebred shrimp don't have these diseases. There are people who just recently bought pet store shrimp and then are selling the first generation of babies that maybe still have some kind of a disease. So you just want to make sure whatever source you're buying from, especially homebred source, is reliable. They know what they're doing, they have healthy shrimp, and it's always the better option to go homebred. Those are the 3 points of advice that I would give any beginner or anybody who's in the hobby and maybe having some problems and not realizing why. So those are 3 suggestions that I would make personally. Those are mistakes that I made and I've learned from, and I know a lot of my friends in the shrimp hobby have made as well. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps somebody out. See you next time.